Hey there, everybody. I just wanted to talk to you quickly today about how the coronavirus is affecting the real estate market. Let's go inside. All right, the first thing I'm doing is making sure that I'm only showing properties to qualified buyers. I also bring my wipes with me everywhere I go and use them to touch all surfaces. I do have them for my buyers in my car. We meet at the property and I will make sure that you have wipes and hand sanitizer. So what is the overall impact of the coronavirus on the Houston real estate market? Well, it's a little too soon to tell. Historically, major outbreaks tend to affect the economy and data is shown about 18 months later. So we're still really early in the process and we don't really know exactly how it's gonna be played out. What we do know is that there are still qualified buyers who need to move and sellers who need to sell. So there are still homes like this one that have gone under contract in less than 2 days with multiple offers. That is happening in our market. So there are some things we can learn about previous outbreaks. In 1918, the Spanish flu did take out about 0.5% of the population, which is huge. We do know that the stock market in 1918 ended up having an overall positive rate of return of 10.5%. So while there was some short-term downturn, there was in the long term a gain. So even though there was an immediate crash, long-term investors were okay in the end. We don't know exactly how the coronavirus is going to affect the Houston economy, but we do know that we are in a much better place than 1918. We're not ravaged by war and diseases. Stock markets, like most people, have trouble dealing with events outside of normal probability ranges. So what can I do to help you, and what am I doing to protect the sellers' homes, and what am I doing to protect buyers in this situation? Well, when I show a property, I want to make sure that the buyer has their own hand sanitizer, they show up in their car, we keep our distance a little bit, and I always use my wipes before I touch any surface. So when I turn on lights, when I get the key out, anything, because they have said that the virus can last on a metal surface for, I think, up to 12 hours. Anyway, I'm not taking that risk. So we are gonna be covered in wipes and we're gonna wash our hands and we're gonna be okay with that. So people are asking, is it a good time to buy a house in Houston based on the coronavirus and the stock market situation? Well, that's a good question. We don't have a crystal ball as to what's really going to happen in the market, but we do know that there are neighborhoods where homes are going under contract in a couple of days with multiple offers, like this one. And we also know there's lots of motivated buyers out there and lots of sellers that need to sell. So the other side of the coin is it a good time to sell my house in this condition, in this market economy? Well, again, since we can't predict, we can only go based on past circumstances and past events. And what that tells us is that buyers are more likely to feel the impact and take precautions on a crisis like this than sellers. Sellers feel like, oh, my house is worth X, it will sell, there's gonna be somebody who wants to buy it. They're less likely to be concerned, of course, unless you have to sell. So they're much more calm about that. And since we don't really see any effects on the market until about 18 months later, then right now in the short term, there are still motivated buyers and there are still motivated sellers, and that is indication that it is still a decent time to sell. So when we're out looking for properties, we'll also make sure not to go to open houses where there could be a lot of people. We're going to schedule private showings into the property where we can go and be there on our own and really make sure we're taking precautions to keep to follow the rules and the guidelines that are given to us by the government on how to protect ourselves. Now for sellers, what I'm gonna do to help you is to make sure that we have all of the equipment, we have our soap, we have our wipes, we have our hand sanitizer handy so that people can do that. Another tip that I've been telling sellers is to make sure all your lights are already on for showings and all your interior doors are open so people don't have to go touching things. So if there's a particular pull-out cabinet you want to highlight, just already do that and have that ready so that the buyers can see that without touching all the surfaces. The next thing is when I'm working with sellers, I make sure I'm bringing a little care kit to their homes. We have hand soap, paper towel, and wipes. We're sort of out of hand sanitizer, so please make sure you bring your own, and you're gonna wash your hands after going through the home. So with our listings, one way to market them, if open houses are going to be unattended or we're trying to keep ourselves a lower risk profile, what I would recommend is what I can do is do a virtual open house. So we'll come to the house when nobody's there and we'll do a virtual tour. For example, we have a lovely fireplace that has a tile surround, it's gas, and we have a mantle on which to put your beautiful collectibles and hang things. So see, we can showcase the house and walk around it and do a virtual tour so you get a sense of the space and what's happening without actually having to go in it. And if it looks interesting enough, then the buyers will come back for a private viewing.
All right, so remember, the coronavirus isn't stopping all real estate. Things are still happening. We're just taking precautions to make sure that we're safe and that we protect you and your assets. Don't forget your wipes and your hand sanitizers, and I'll see you out there. Bye.